Hi, my name's Claire and this is my travel channel Claire's Footsteps. Today we are road tripping up the River Gambia. We're going to experience Gambian rural life, see some wildlife and learn a bit more about the smallest country in mainland Africa's history. So let's go! This trip started with a very early morning pickup from our hotel in Serekunda. Our journey was starting on the other side of the River Gambia, so we have to take the Banjul to Barra ferry over it. Alright, we have crossed the river. We are the other side of the river now, which is the side we need to be, so that is good. And we've just had some breakfast. I had just some bread and butter, and I've got some bananas as well, because I don't eat eggs. But Rich had an omelette, and they seem that's to be quite a popular breakfast food here in Gambia. And yeah, we're just freshening up, and then off to the first stop of the day, which is Fort Bullen, I believe. Fort Bullen is one of the Gambia's UNESCO World Heritage Sites. It was built by the British in 1826, following the abolition of slavery in 1807. The fort oversaw the river with the aim to prevent the slave trade from operating on it. Of course, while this was a positive thing, we should never forget how horrific the slave trade was and acknowledge how much involvement the Brits had in it just a few decades prior. We carried on driving eastwards. We saw lots of flamingos having a drink from the River Gambia and loads of cows as well. It was really nice to be out in the countryside and to be seeing a different side of the Gambia. The cows are the kings of the road, you really don't want to mess with them. Alright, so driving around Gambia has a lot of checkpoints, some that are a bit more, take a bit longer than others, but we have arrived. We've arrived at the hotel that we're spending the night in. You can see it behind me, quite a basic hotel room, but we've got a nice big bed and a mosquito net, which is all you need really. And we are having lunch here, and then we're going on a boat trip up the River Gambia, so that will be really cool. Hoping to see some wildlife. Yeah, no, it took a long time to drive here for a fairly short distance, but we did do one stop at a local market, which was good. I didn't take that much video just because I think people are living their lives there, you know, just going about their daily life. They don't really need me with a camera videoing around, but it was interesting. And yeah, then we drove to here, but we're going to see some stuff now, and yeah, have a good afternoon. Quick room tour. This is where we were staying. It was basic, but it had all we needed for a comfortable night. The bed was a bit hard, but it was all right for one night. And then we had the bathroom here. The showers were only cold water, but it was so hot outside that was absolutely fine. This is domada, and it's a Gambian peanut stew that can be made vegetarian with some spicy sauce. It is absolutely delicious. Then it was time to get on the river and see some monkeys. So we went down to the Chimpanzee Island. Chimpanzees are an endangered species all over the world, and due to Gambia being such a small country and there being a lot of human activity, they became extinct. But in the 1970s, two ladies brought chimpanzees from Senegal, Guinea and other West African countries and brought them back to the Gambia. And they brought them back to this area of the River Gambia National Park. So nowadays, the chimpanzees live on this small collection of islands, and they're always there. Chimpanzees can't actually swim, so you know that there are going to be some there when you visit. They are occasionally fed by people when they're monitoring them and seeing how many there are, but most of the time they're there sort of fending for themselves and living for themselves. So it was a really amazing and humbling experience to see these really rare these days animals in their natural habitat. We went looking for hippos afterwards, but apparently this time of year they're more likely to be found in the nearby rice paddies. I wasn't too disappointed about not seeing them because apparently hippos are really, really dangerous. Cruising around the river was absolutely lovely, really, really idyllic. But then we came back to the hotel and we had a little bit of a travel fail. We went on a hike to another chimp rehabilitation centre, but it was much longer than I thought it was going to be, and I was very, very hot, so had to turn around and come back. And now I'm just here nursing this cool bottle of water because it's cooling down a little bit now, but it was about 35 degrees until about an hour ago. I was on the verge of heat exhaustion at this point, and I had to turn back from the hike because I was like, I can't do a hike in this weather. So came back and watched the sunset instead, which was very beautiful. This was a really scenic place to stay on the River Gambia. Good morning, it is day 2 of the trip, and this morning we're off to some ancient stone circles, so the Stonehenge of West Africa. Yeah, these are, I'll explain what one we're there, but these are some really old stone circles that basically straddle the border between Gambia and Senegal, and we're seeing them on the Gambia side this morning. These are the Wassu Stone Circles, and they were fascinating. If you've ever been to Stonehenge in the UK, it's a similar kind of thing. Ceremonial stone circles that date back thousands of years. These ones actually aren't quite as old as Stonehenge. It's thought that they date back 1,500 years, so still pretty old. They're part of the wider Senegambian Stone Circles, which you'll find all over the border of Senegal and the Gambia. It's thought that they were used for burials, and they have been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2006. The largest stone of all the Senegambian Stone Circles is in this particular area. It's 2.69 metres tall, and it actually goes 1 metre underground. It's free to visit these stone circles, and we had a great local guide who gave us all the information we needed about them. As I said, completely free to visit, but there is a tip box, and we gave him a good tip because he was a really great guide.
It's this. Yeah, so this one is this other one.
Yeah.
So this one is that other one. But what is clear to us, yeah, we know that how to call for us.
Thank you.
And we have a small gallery of exhibition. Yeah, we can go there.
Then we got a small ferry over to Janjanbureh, or Georgetown as it is otherwise named. So this is an island that sits in the middle of the River Gambia. It's connected to the south side of the river by a bridge, but on the north side you have to take this very small car ferry. Fits about 6 or so cars on, so you might be waiting a little while for the boat to get to and from, but it's not very far. As a pedestrian, you don't actually sit in the car when it goes up the ramp, which we were quite relieved to see because it's very, very steep, this ramp. I was very impressed with everyone driving up to get onto the boat. Yeah, there's those yellow birds.
But it's...
And when you get to the other side of the river, you have to reverse down the ramp, which looked even more scary, but everyone managed it very well. This was another West African destination with a very difficult and sad history. Like Gorée Island in Senegal, it was where Europeans set up slave houses to keep imprisoned slaves before transporting them to North America. Again, it's difficult history to learn about, but it's very important that we do learn about it. And they're actually trying to get UNESCO status here. And they're hoping by doing so they'll be able to keep educating people about the past in the hope that things like this won't happen in the future. After Georgetown, we set off on the long drive back to the west of the country. We were staying in Senegambia by the beach, so it was about a 4-hour drive from Georgetown. This is the bridge that connects the island to the mainland, so it's a lot quicker crossing the Gambia River on this side. And here was the only vegetarian lunch we could find. Plain rice with chilli sauce. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed seeing some more of the Gambia, and do stay tuned for my next one, which is focused on Gambia's beaches. Bye!